My name is Chris Nowinski, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share with you my Eisenhower Fellowship experience and to represent my very accomplished class, or dare I say, my new friends. I'm currently co-director of the Center for the Study of Traumatic Encephalopathy at Boston University School of Medicine, and also co-founder and CEO of the Sports Legacy Institute, a nonprofit dedicated to solving the sports concussion crisis. And I apologize for this, but to understand what I do in my fellowship, I have to give a brief science lesson. In the simplest terms, we've been ignoring the fact that brain trauma and concussions can be devastating to athletes and to military veterans. But we are now certain that a hit to the head can trigger a neurodegenerative disease that destroys your brain and ends with dementia. This should not be new information, as a disease we now call chronic traumatic encephalopathy. We first named punch drunk in 1928. But it was ignored worldwide. In fact, our research center at BU was the first ever in the world dedicated to its study in 2008. I didn't get into this world because of enlightenment, unfortunately, but out of ignorance. I played football at Harvard University and became a professional wrestler with WWE. And in fact, it reminds me of General Powell, Sergeant Slaughter asked me to say hello. I was forced to retire in 2003 from too many mishandled concussions. I was reckless with my brain, and I lost 5 years of my life to intense post-concussion syndrome. And I'll probably lose some years on the back end as well. When I learned that athletes were not being told about CTE and they were being lied to about the consequences and medically mistreated, I decided to change that. So it started with writing a book called Head Games, and then a charity, and then the center, which through our brain bank has now identified this disease in the brains of over 70 out of 100 athletes that we've studied post-mortem, including over 90% of the athletes that played the NFL, the NHL, or even college football. 5 years after launching this crusade, everything about concussions in sports has changed. And after Junior Seau's unfortunate suicide the other day, you'd be hard-pressed not to have heard about this disease. Yet this awareness only exists in the US and Canada, and that is why I'm so appreciative of the opportunity I had to travel to the European Commission, Ireland, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and Turkey. Thank you. It was heard as a unique case. Last summer, with the objective to spread concussion and CTE awareness across Europe and to spark the same positive change we've had in North America. The second goal was to recruit researchers into the CTE field and build individual research collaborations as well as partnerships and potentially a worldwide collaboration so that we can have more researchers working on a treatment for CTE that will benefit a lot of people that I care about. Finally, as I thought about my personal leadership development, I spent a lot of my time in my fellowship trying to learn how exactly one might make such an international collaboration successful and have it lead to consequential outcomes. No disrespect to my European colleagues, but my travels were like going back in time to the Stone Age of concussion awareness. In Italy, a doctor asked, "So you want to change soccer?" And I said, "Yes, just like we change football, it can be done." And he said, "Yes, but in Italy, they might shoot you." Germany was truly unbelievable. My program officer, Jason Riley, hustled like crazy to get me meetings, but everyone claimed there was not a single doctor in the country who was a concussion expert. The German Olympic Committee was interesting. In 2008, the IOC sponsored an international concussion conference that developed a one-page sideline concussion evaluation form called the SCAT-2. Mind you, this meeting in the German Olympic Committee took place in 2011, and their top doctor asked me, "So what do you think of the SCAT-2? I said, "It's the best thing we have right now, and you should be using it." And he asked, "So would you recommend we translate it into German?" A one-page form. Had not been translated into German from the International Olympic Committee. So they were not a lot of will and not a lot of passion to get this done. But luckily I did make connections with a number of enlightened people, especially in Ireland, of course. The Ireland Fellows helped me infiltrate Dublin, and later this year we expect to announce a collaboration between Boston University and the Dublin Brain Bank, and the Irish Rugby Players Association and the Gaelic Players Association have agreed to have their players sign up to participate in research, including agreeing to donate their brains to the Dublin Brain Bank. Because that's what I do, I ask people for their brains. I did that last year and to Governor Christie Todd Whitman. And I think that's probably why I'm not sitting directly next to General Powell tonight. But even Germany did come around. I did eventually find 2 doctors who care, and we expect to partner with the Brain Bank at the University of Munich as well as I'll be back to Würzburg in February to keynote an international conference on concussions. But most importantly, all the time, reflecting on leadership and learning how others have built successful organizations, I feel prepared now to take on this challenge. I want to thank the Board of Trustees and the sponsors for their support of the USA program. I'm very hopeful that the researchers that I was able to build relationships with will continue their commitment to developing a treatment for CTE. And I'm excited to think that someday it might help more than just athletes. It's impossible not to remember President Eisenhower's prolific military service to our country. Yesterday, you may have read that our research team at BU published the first autopsy case series identifying this disease in U.S. military veterans exposed to blast injuries in Iraq and Afghanistan. Developing a treatment for this disease and preventing children from acquiring the disease through sports is my life mission. And I want to thank everyone in the Eisenhower program for providing me the opportunity to dramatically accelerate our journey to consequential outcomes. And I look forward to working with my incredibly talented fellowship classmates and the alumni network as we all work together to better the world around us.